What was frustrating about 80s arcade controls? Have you ever wondered why playing arcade games in the 1980s could sometimes feel like a test of patience? The controls were a big part of the fun, but they also brought their fair share of challenges. Let's break down what made those arcade controls so frustrating for many players. First off, the physical durability of the controls was a major issue. Arcade machines were often found in crowded places like malls and pizza parlors, leading to heavy use. This constant action caused joysticks and buttons to wear out quickly. Over time, the micro switches inside these controls would fail, leading to unresponsive or erratic inputs. Imagine trying to make a precise move in a fast-paced game, only to find that your joystick isn't responding as it should. Dirt and dust were also common culprits. They would accumulate inside button housings, causing buttons to stick or respond slowly. This meant that players often faced controls that did not register their actions accurately. It was especially frustrating during moments when every second counted, like in a racing game or a shooting game. Another point of frustration was the design of some controls. For instance, certain games like Missile Command originally used trackballs for aiming. This allowed for smooth and accurate targeting. However, when these games were ported to other systems without trackballs, players had to rely on less precise directional pads. This change reduced control accuracy, making gameplay more difficult and frustrating. Mechanical issues with joysticks also added to the annoyance. Loose or broken actuators could cause joystick movements to not register correctly. This meant players might find themselves unable to control their characters or objects as intended. Repairing these issues often required technical skills or replacement parts, which were not accessible to the average player. From a nostalgic viewpoint, these control frustrations were part of the charm of arcade gaming. Players developed a feel for each machine's quirks, and mastering them became a skill in itself. However, the physical limitations and occasional unreliability of the controls could lead to moments of irritation. Losing a game due to a sticky button or an unresponsive joystick was a common experience. In summary, the main frustrations with 1980s arcade controls included physical wear and tear, mechanical failures, and sometimes awkward control schemes. These issues were made worse by the heavy use arcade machines received. Yet, despite these challenges, the unique experience of arcade gaming in the 1980s remains memorable for many.